these games, guys. You're playing on some of the biggest stages that the game of basketball has to offer. It's time to take one more step.
They are going to punch you in the mouth as soon as you step on that floor. They've already won this game in their minds. Take that blow and give it right back.
It's going to take focus, communication, attention to detail. All the little things are going to matter. Let's go!
That's what I do. It's the work that gets me through, but I'm starting to forget. But what I want, do you remember me?
When you get up high, you gotta come down hard. Get that out of here. Takes the long one. Oh!
You are writing another page, another chapter. I can't wait to see what this one reads like.
The second night of play in the Sweet 16 starts with the guys getting off the bus right there. Gonzaga taking on UCLA on CBS at 7:15. And here on TBS, we're going to tip it off at 7:37 with Louisville and NC State. 4 more spots in the Elite Eight will be earned tonight.
Dreams to come true. Oh, boy, what a play. Michael Jordan. Something remembered. Unbelievable.
And we welcome you to the Infinity NCAA Tip-Off Show from Studio D in Atlanta. Welcome, everybody. Ernie Johnson, Seth Davis, Steve Smith, and the natural. Head coach of the Georgia State Panthers, Ron Hunter. Awesome job last night. Great to have you back. We couldn't scare you off. And
No, I appreciate it. I've been caught a lot worse than that, too.
no, you were awesome, and we enjoyed it. And,
Thank you.
And can you set the record straight? Are you going to have surgery or not on your Achilles? People
No.
are wondering. You know, they said, has he gotten it fixed or what's up?
No, I'm not having surgery because I'm a wimp.
Okay, good.
I'll just be honest with you. I don't want you to cut on me. No, not doing it.
Back when
The Friday schedule, if we could, please. UCLA and Gonzaga, CBS, 7:15. Then just your basic ACC game. NC State and Louisville on TBS at 7:37. Utah and Duke on CBS, and then we round out the night with Michigan State and Oklahoma right here on TBS. First point of discussion then is Louisville and NC State. And obviously not your basic ACC game, but they did play this year, and it was a huge win for NC State to go to Louisville and beat the Cardinals. This came at a time when NC State was struggling, and boy, that's a good way to get better.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I just love this North Carolina State team, the way they're coming together. They're guard-oriented. Their guard absolutely can just come out and flat out and play. These 3 guards can come out, but it comes down to these young big guys. I mean, B.J. Anya and also Malik Abu. You're going to watch these 2 guys relentless on their effort. I'm not talking about rebounding or skill, just relentless on how their passion, their energy, how they stay in the game. If they can stay out of foul trouble, they have a good chance of dominating the front court.
This wasn't exactly the Valentine's Day massacre, but NC State did throttle Louisville in their gym, 74-65, and you see Louisville shooting just under 33% in that game. However, Seth, they are coming off what Rick Pitino has said is their best win of the year to get here.
Well, the big difference between Louisville then and Louisville now, of course, is that Chris Jones, who was the starting point guard, has since been dismissed, so he's now not on the team. And on the one hand, that is a problem because the one thing they really couldn't do was keep Cat Barber off the free throw line. He took 13 free throws, and then Lacey and Turner really kind of ran roughshod. And Chris Jones is a very, very good defensive player. In his place is freshman Quentin Snyder, who's not as good defensively, but he's a much better shooter. And in Louisville's last game over Northern Iowa, that was their best jump shooting performance of the season. So they're going to have to decide, which side of the floor they're going to emphasize. They are not going to be as good defensively today as they were in that first meeting. And they were pretty good that first meeting, still couldn't win at home.
Well, Louisville, to win this game, they have to force turnovers because they struggle to score. In the previous game, the last time they played, they only forced 8 turnovers. they're not going to win the game if they only force 8 turnovers because they struggle to score the ball from the outside. So they've really got to make sure that they turn the ball over so they can get in transition and get good baskets. Again, that's just how they have to play because they just don't shoot the ball well enough. They can't create enough baskets. So they've got to get deflections. They've got to get steals and create some baskets for themselves.
NC State's story here in this tournament, they play LSU in their opener. 16 down in the second half, and they come back to win. And then you got to go up against a #1 seed, and all they did was hold Villanova to 31% shooting in that game.
You know, they're defensively, I mean, they do an excellent job of pressuring up, and then they rely on B.J. Anya. He has a 7'9" wingspan. I mean, he is relentless at going at shots, and he has some size where he wants to bang you and block shots. But I think it comes down to Cat Barber on both sides. The way he puts so much pressure on you defensively, their wing guys and also Trevor Lacey, they play off one another. But when you watch Cat Barber, he's one of these players that's special because of his relentless attack. Coach Mark Garfrey talked about it. He said he thought he was playing not fast enough early in the season. He thought he was too much thinking, trying to be a point guard. He said, I want you to use your speed. In the first 2 games in this tournament, he has definitely done that.
Well, I'll tell you what, NC State might be the best team in the country that scores on isolation plays. They can really get off the bounce, man. They can really score. I think that might be a problem because of Louisville zone, because they won't have that isolation. He won't be able to break down people in that regard. Those isolation plays will be taken away, and they will be forced to make outside jump shots. And they can do that, but NC State's the best in the country right now at isolation plays. So, again, if they can kind of get Louisville spread out, Louisville has no chance. But if they can just make them shoot those jump shots, then Louisville's going to be in for a long night.
And, you know, one thing I'll also say about Louisville is that Montrezl Harrell has to play like their best player. He's taken the 4th most shots on the team during the tournament. Now, part of that is because in the first round they went up against a 7'6" center and a zone defense, so he didn't get as many opportunities. Montrezl Harrell came into the season as a projected first-team All-American. He was generating National Player of the Year consideration. And really over the last month and a half of the season, he's been very quiet. He relinquished the captaincy on the team, which I felt was a little bit odd. We're in the Sweet 16. Your best players have to be at your best, and Louisville's best chance tonight is for Montrezl Harrell to be their best player.
And I think also for Louisville, Terry Rozier is pretty good. He's a gamer. If you watch him, if it comes down to the last play, Seth and Coach, he wants the basketball. I saw him in a huddle against Georgia Tech. Talking to Coach Pitino, he wants the basketball. When you talk about Terry Rozier, sometimes you have guys, you just look at him. I get that feel and that look, Coach, when I'm watching him play, that he's not afraid of the moment. I'm going to look for him and Cat Barber. This should be a nice matchup.
19-4-6 in the tournament for Rozier and shooting 57% in the process. So Louisville, the champs from 2013, taking on NC State, and it's been since 1986 since NC State advanced to the Elite Eight. We'll get a preview of Louisville and NC State from the guys who will call it, Vern Lundquist and Jim Spanarkel, and the bus video just keeps on rolling.
Love the bus video.
Love the bus.
And now, let's see how coaches apply their lessons from the court to everything off of it. Presented by Infinity.
I think the game of basketball, there's so many lessons to be learned. You know, being a part of a team, learning how to function within a group, unselfishness, hard work, pulling for one another. There's so many things that the game of basketball teaches all of us. It translates to your family or to your workplace or to your job, whatever it may be.
This year, create a bracket that helps coaches beat cancer. Register now at cbssports.com/infinity.
Hey, how about this tweet? You see, when you go to 2 schools and they're both still alive, like Russell Wilson did, so he's got Wisconsin last night and now in high hopes for the Wolfpack tonight with the hashtag March Madness. Bracket Busters brought to you by the ultra-tough Amazon Fire HD. And NC State did the trick in the Bracket Buster department by knocking out the #1 seed in the East, Villanova, 71-68, setting up NC State and Louisville tonight. And what this show really needs is an injection of Vern Lundquist and Jim Spanarkel to the proceedings. Take it away, fellas.
Oh, thank you, Ernie. That's the upper deck of the Carrier Dome, and believe it or not, those seats will be filled. We're expecting a crowd of 30,000 on the north side of that, NC State and Louisville in a rematch. And we've given ourselves injections. I'm Vern, this is Jim. Thanks to Ernie Johnson back in the studio. This is a rematch of an ACC encounter that took place on February 14th. And look what happened then. NC State had their way with Louisville.
They really did. And one of the things about it, Anthony Cat Barber scoring the 21 points and doing a good job. And overall, you look at the percentage of Louisville's shooting, 33%, just under that, 29 in the second half. So a little bit of a problem for them getting on track against NC State.
Allie LaForce chatted with both head coaches, Mark Gottfried and Rick Pitino.
I do think our guys have confidence because we won the game, but I think the challenge now becomes, can you beat a really good team twice? Can you beat them a second time when the stakes are higher and the stage is a little bit bigger?
It was a close ball game, and they pulled away at the end. They're an explosive offensive basketball team. They rebound great. They can take shots and make shots that we can't. So we've got to improve on our defense to try and turn that around.
And they will do so without the services of Chris Jones, suspended, kicked off the team on February 14th. They've got a young freshman, though, who's played very, very well, Quentin Snyder, for Louisville in the last 8 games.
He really has, Vernon. One of the things is when he took over that position, at the point guard position, you know, you look at some of the things he's done well. He shoots the basketball well. He's been doing a nice job in terms of controlling the tempo for Louisville. But one of the key things, I think, is his lack of turnovers. He's not turning the basketball over. He's getting up and down in the transition and also in the half court. But when they really look at NC State, what does he have to contend with on that side? We call them the ISO Kings. They're very, very good. Trevor Lacey, they really look to get isolations, and he's terrific. He can take it to the basket. He can pull up for his jumper. He can do it off the dribble. And Anthony Cat Barber is like lightning outside. Another isolation king. He can put the ball on the floor and go by people. So from Louisville's perspective, that's what they're going to have to deal with.
Well, we look forward to the tip in about an hour, maybe even a little less. Let's go back to Atlanta. Ernie Johnson.
All right, thank you, guys. We've discussed this game already in depth, but we do have a little bit more with some of our technology for Smitty to take us through Cat Barber's game.
You know, and Ernie is great. I mean, you're going to get a chance to watch a young man that's flat out with speed and with the basketball. And talking to Mark Gottfried when I did that game, he wants him to play even faster. And watch some of these plays. This is half court against Villanova. It's a pretty good defensive team, especially at the guard spot. He is getting wherever he wants to, and he can finish in traffic. This is so quick. The help defense can't get there. I mean, he's at the rim. Cat Barber, as of the last 13 games, averaging about 15 points. And you can see right here, not just a score, will kick it. And Malik Kabu is one of the best in the business as a freshman and finishing. If you want to press him, Louisville, understand, he will try to be all 5 and get to the rim. Does a nice job of keeping his, what I say as a guard, doesn't turn his back. He keeps his eyes right on you, and he has a confidence and a swagger, Coach. It's unbelievable watching it up close, how quick he is.
Man, that's a one-man press breaker right there. I mean, that kid is really quick. He's really fast. And when you have something like that, again, as a shooter, where you're just sitting out there just waiting, Lacey and those guys are just waiting.
Turner.
Yeah, they're just sitting there waiting for just a little bit of help. So again, I think that's big for him. But I don't think they'll be able to get to that because that zone. There's going to be bodies just sitting there. He's going to throw the ball out. It's going to slow him down. They're really good when he can speed the game up. If he has to slow down and get in the half court, it takes all his effectiveness away. And that's why I see Louisville probably playing 40 minutes of just half court zone defense.
Well, it's interesting. That's the chess match. Again, with Rick Pitino, we saw it last night with Bob Huggins in West Virginia. Louisville does like the press, and that is the staple of Rick Pitino's system. So, but you can't let your ego get in the way here. Yeah. You can't say, well, that's what we do, and we're going to press them, because NC State is the perfect team that loves to be pressured because they don't want to have to play against a lot of zone tonight. So, interesting enough, we think of Rick Pitino wanting to speed things up, Ron, but I think you hit it right on the head. I think it behooves him to slow this game down, let that zone defense take effect. And now, again, with Quentin Snyder in there instead of Chris Jones, they can make a few jump shots now and again.
Exactly. Tip-off under an hour from now right here on TBS. There, Louisville getting ready for another ACC matchup, and a really big ACC matchup with NC State for a spot in the Elite Eight. Welcome back. This Dove Men Plus Care Real Strength Moment features the man on the set with us for the last 2 nights, Coach Ron Hunter and his son, RJ. And a life-changing week and a half for you, Coach.
Is that your trainer, Coach?
That's my trainer.
She wasn't going to let you fall the second time, huh?
No, going to keep that job.
What a 10 days in your life, man.
You know what, it has been, and I tell you every time I see that and being able to see my family and my son in that regard, that's the best part about it, and it has been a joy, and so I had to thank RJ, because if he missed that shot, I'm probably not sitting here with you guys right now. So thanks, son, I owe you.
No. And a writer was asking me yesterday, does he have a future in TV? I said his future is in coaching right now. He can do this anytime he wants.
Well, thank you, I appreciate that.
No,
Can you tell my AD
awesome.
that right now? We're going to negotiate. Could you tell him that I'm still...
I think your AD knows. Allie LaForce's going to be working the NC State Louisville game tonight, and a short time ago she caught up to Rick Pitino.
Coach, your team has really had to evolve this season because of injuries and the dismissal of Chris Jones. How have they been able to reinvent themselves?
Well, I think Louisville has just great tradition, and the expectations are so high for any basketball team, whether they have injuries, whether they have problems. So they respond to the expectations, and I think they're doing a wonderful job.
Speaking of expectations, when it comes to Sweet 16s, you're 11-1. What is it about the way that you prepare your teams that translates into the postseason?
Talented basketball players. You know, that's really the answer. I think preparation is a big key, focus on the job at hand, but North Carolina State will be very focused, we'll be very focused. We've played each other. They got the best of us, and now hopefully we can turn the tide tonight.
They have a very talented trio of guards. What's key in defending them?
You know, I actually think they do have a great trio, but I think that we have to keep them off the backboard to have a shot of winning tonight, because they're very physical on the backboard. That leads to second shots, that leads to penetration, gets them to the foul line. So we've got to make sure that we don't take the same shots that they take. We're not capable of doing what they do. We got to make sure we move the basketball and play north and south.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck.
Thanks.
Ron, what's a game day, game night like for you? You look at Rick Pitino right there. You're about a half hour before your tip in this game. Is there a certain time during the day where you just close the books on the thing and say, look, we're ready. We can't do anything else, and now I'm going to try to relax before we tip this thing off?
I think that's the most important thing you can do, because what happens as a coach, you start thinking of everything and you start over-coaching. And then all of a sudden you want to change and you want to think, boy, did we cover this? Did we cover that? Should we make an adjustment here? A lot of times you need to, once you decide what you want to do, you need to get your mind someplace else. So you don't get to a situation, especially an hour before the game or 30 minutes, and say, I forgot to cover this, and you go in and now you confuse the kids.
Here's another thing. You talked about making sure your team doesn't, get freaked out by looking at the name on the jersey. Mm-hmm. You ever coach against a coach and not against the team? Do you ever go up against somebody and say, and it maybe takes away from your prep because that's Rick Pitino on the other side. Oh, that's Coach K on the other side.
Yeah, when I was a young coach, one of the second game I had as a Division I head coach, I coached against John Thompson. And I'll be honest with you, it wasn't about intimidation, but he was someone I looked up to. And so when I walked out on the sideline, which I'm trying to coach the game, and I'm watching him. And I catch myself in a timeout. I'm trying to teach the guys, I'm down, I'm looking at him, and the guy's like, Coach, what are we going to do? We're down 50. And so,
and then you said, what am I doing with this towel?
And I felt bad. I remember apologizing to our players after the game because, again, I kind of lost. I was a young coach. I had no idea. But I was coaching against someone that I idolized in John Thompson. So I remember that.
Yeah. Hey, when we come back, Seth nailed the Notre Dame win last night. Now a chance for a rare two-game winning streak.
I don't want to ruin it. I don't want to ruin it.
The kiss of Seth is next. Oh, stop. Oh, stop.
The Infinity NCAA Tip-Off Show is sponsored by Burger King.
Cannot believe we've been on the air for 71 minutes. It seems like 72. Seth, who will it be? Okay, he misfired on Eastern Washington, misfired on the Bulls of Buffalo, misfired on Georgia State.
He picked you.
Misfired on Dayton.
Da, 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 da.
Wow! Last night he got Notre Dame and the Irish in the Elite Eight to take on Kentucky. So so now. Well, go ahead.
America with bated breath.
Yes.
Well, I hate to take the chance at ruining a one-game win streak, which is unprecedented in the annals of network television. I did want to pick Michigan State tonight. I do think Michigan State is going to win. But if I held up this disc on this air and they lost, that guy would beat me up. So I'm not going to do that. If you want to pick an underdog lock, you've got to give the ball to a cat. And Cat Barber And the North Carolina State Wolfpack are going to defeat the Louisville Cardinals in an ACC rematch. They will move on to the Elite Eight. They will take the world by storm, and I will have a 2-game win streak, and I will ride off to the sunset in my feline way. Cat Barber, do not let me down, please. I beg you. I beg you.
NC State,
And go Spartans!
1986, the last time they were there, and you have them beating Louisville for the second time this season. And moving to the.
I was only 13, but I held up Houston the night of the national championship.
And as Hal Galima, our researcher, points out, the last time you got 2 in a row right was 1986.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
What's the most compelling game you're watching tonight? What can't you wait to see, Coach?
The Oklahoma game, because I think it's going to be up and down, and I get an opportunity. I don't get this much. I can sit next to Smitty for 40 minutes and just go at him, man. We're just going to go at this and the whole thing. And I love Tom Izzo. You know, I'm a huge Tom Izzo fan, but I gotta get at my man here.
Already, his foot is hurting, right?
Yeah. That's a wrap for Infinity NCAA tip-off. Louisville and NC State straight ahead here on TBS.
Live for these games, guys. That's why you coach. You live for these games. You're playing on some of the biggest, most unique stages that the game of basketball has to offer. It's time to take one more step, guys. Let's go!
Trice, yes.
You line up every night, you know if you don't play well, you're gonna get beat.
Any given night, one team can get hot, and the rest is history.
Nobody wants to lose, so it's a war.
One mistake, one missed free throw, one bad shooting night, and you're going home.
And welcome to the road to the Final Four on TBS. The Sweet 16 continues to transform into the Elite Eight. 4 teams in, 4 more in tonight. Hi, everyone. I'm Greg Gumbel. Joining me here in the studio, that's Clark Kellogg, that's Charles Barkley. In the middle, meet the Smith. Kenny Smith. You're entirely welcome. We'll get to them in just a moment. First, tonight's guide to NCAA March Madness brought to you by Burger King. Madness your way. Over on CBS, UCLA and Gonzaga just tipping off in the South region. Coming up next here in the East region, it'll be Louisville taking on NC State. Later on CBS, it's Utah against the top seed in the South, Duke. And then winding things up here on TBS later tonight, 7th seed Michigan State and number 3 Oklahoma. Madness your way with Burger King. As we look at the range of games that we have tonight, what stands out to you?
Well, I'm looking forward to this North Carolina State-Louisville game simply because North Carolina State has one of the best triumvirate of isolation guys in the tournament. Trevor Lacey, Cat Barber, Ralston Turner has struggled making threes, but these guys really play downhill, can attack. Can Louisville's defense be good enough at the point of attack on the ball to keep those guys from controlling the game?
We have taken a left turn away from basketball momentarily, so let's get back on track. Coming up, 8th seed NC State, which upset number 1 seed Villanova, looks to continue its improbable run against Rick Pitino and the Louisville Cardinals. Now, the Cardinals.
Well, you know, they've struggled to score consistently all season long. They had a nice game in their win to get to this point. Terry Rozier was outstanding. He's been really good in the 2 tournament games. The key player for them, to me, is Wayne Blackshear. He's a senior. He's been in this situation before, multiple tournament game experience. He's got to have a big game. And can Louisville defend the perimeter attack of North Carolina State? Turner has made only 2 of 14 threes, and he's a 36% three-point shooter on the season. You know good shooters typically don't stay in slumps for long. If he breaks out of it, it's going to be really difficult for Louisville to handle those 3 guards on the perimeter.
Talk about teams that feel good about themselves. The Wolfpack do these days.
Well, they feel great about themselves, and as Clark alluded to, is the fact that on the perimeter they've had the advantage. But the difference is now playing Louisville, when you have the advantage, can you meet a shot blocker? You know, this is the first time, I think, in the tournament that they're going to be meeting shot blockers in that individual play that they have on the perimeter. So a little bit different for playing a Louisville team. Obviously, Rick Pitino makes you play at a step faster. So we'll see if they can handle that playing at a step faster as well.
Well, I think NC State got a really good chance of winning this game because Clark talked about their 3 guards, 3 perimeter guys. they got a chance. They got to speed the game up. Louisville, I don't think Clark is correct. I don't know if they can score enough. You know, they want to keep the game. They're not the same since they lost to Jones kid. They're not as good. But can they score enough? And I actually think if NC State, if they can obviously outscore them, but get the game at a faster pace, I think they got a really good chance of winning this game.
All right, guys, just keep in mind, NC State registered that upset of the top seed, Villanova, going up against Rick Pitino and those Louisville Cardinals. Louisville, NC State, and your favorite topic, the play of the guards.
Well, I just think guard play just keeps the pace of the game. You know, it dictates how you want to play and what position you want to play in. And both for Louisville, Louisville does it on the defensive end, or North Carolina State does it on the offensive end. On the offensive end, North Carolina State spreads you out. They have great one-on-one players, guys who can take you off the dribble. And on Louisville, they say, we have great guys who can guard you in the backcourt. To get you over that 10-second line, how many seconds is it going to take to get you over? And then can you not turn it over in that possession? Two different areas to control the game by the guards, but two different ways to do it.
All right, Kenny, earlier, Allie LaForce caught up with NC State head coach Mark Gottfried.
Coach, this is a team that was picked to finish 10th in the preseason. Now you're in the Sweet 16 trying to advance to the Elite Eight. How have they been able to defy the odds?
Well, I think the most important thing for us is we've gotten better, and that's what I liked about our team. You know, early in the year, we struggled to score at times. Our big guys didn't score very well. They've improved a great deal. I think Kat Barber's improved a ton this year. And, you know, that's the fun part, and I still think we can get a lot better, and that's the encouraging thing for us right now.
You played Louisville back in February, and if you talk to the players, they consider it a turning point in the season. What can you take away from that game against Louisville that you can use tonight?
Well, it was a pivotal game for us. Gave us great confidence, I think, that we were able to win in their building. I think tonight it's going to be a different game. You know, the fact that you've played them one time makes us more familiar with them more familiar with us. But I think you got to be careful thinking that the game's just going to play itself out exactly like the last one did. And so we've got to make adjustments. We've got to do things a little bit differently, as they will too. But it should be a fun game.
Coach, thank you and good luck.
Thank you.
And thank you, Allie. Time now for that segment that at least one of us loves, Coaching with Chuck. And if you're in NC State's locker room talking to the underdog, what are you telling the guys who play for the Wolfpack, Chuck?
I'd say, Coach, move out the way because I can't see the board.
Wait, no, I'm doing Utah.
I would say, Coach, you're
you
too
doing
big.
Utah? I'm doing Utah.
Okay, you're talking to Utah. So
at
least you're in the wrong locker room, Coach. Yeah. You're supposed to be doing the other locker.
I'm doing Utah.
That's the second thing I'd say. And, Coach, write a little darker so we can see you a little better. Come on, Coach.
Man, I'm going to get stuck down.
I see. Yeah, that's like doing a squat. Oh, Coach, don't go down that far, Coach. It's hurting him. It's hurting.
We used to have a teacher like this in school. Every time he turned around, everybody would bolt out the back door.
Oh, my gosh.
All right, break it down for us, Coach.
Break it down, Coach. You don't have to spell a name right, Coach.
Yeah, that's all right.
Don't worry about it.
Okay, I'm going with the Utes. I'm going with an upset tonight.
All right.
Listen, I know you guys on the East Coast, y'all have East Coast bias on those West Coast guys. But this guy here named DeLon Wright, one of the best players in the country you never heard of. He's got to have a terrific game tonight, but the main thing he's got to do is control the pace of the game. That's number one. He's got to control the pace of the game. And listen, I don't know where Larry's getting these guys from. Clearly, they're not from New York. Dolan Pochitsky. No, you never heard of him, but he's not from New York or Boston. But let me tell you something. These two guys here, and this guy got the best name in college basketball, Jakob Poeltl. So these two guys, I'm going to put them as one player.
Okay.
They cannot let Okafor dominate the game. First of all, they got to stay out of foul trouble. But if these two guys do a decent job on the boards and in the scoring range combined, Okafor, I think Utah's got a good chance of pulling an upset.
Oh, there you go.
Coaching with Chuck. There you have it. Coming up at ACC.
I'm like I was in my
Sweet
history
16,
class. I'm asleep.
8th seed NC State.
I'll take that St. John's job now.
I'm like I was in my history class. You put me to sleep, Professor.
Thank you.
Coverage of the NCAA men's basketball tournament is sponsored by Enterprise Rent-A-Car, Subaru, and by the UPS Store.
We welcome all of you to Syracuse, New York, site of the East Regional Semifinal, featuring North Carolina State Wolfpack, the 8th seed, against the Louisville Cardinals, the number 4 seed. Good evening, everybody. Vern Lundquist along with Jim Spanarkel. We welcome you to Syracuse, where we expect a crowd in excess of 30,000 tonight. This is actually a rematch, an ACC encounter between NC State and Louisville. They played on Valentine's Day, and Jim, NC State won that one relatively easily.
They did, Vernon. I think one of the things to think about that game is it'll give NC State some confidence in terms of coming in here tonight, but I think overall it's kind of pushed behind them. It was 6 weeks ago, and I think maybe from an individual basis with matchups, it may play in more so than that.
Well, you're going to like guard play. If you like guard play, you're going to like tonight. That's what I'm trying to say.
Well, NC State loves to go up and down, too, and you have Trevor Lacey on the left, a guy who's a go-to guy for NC State, can score from a lot of different areas, and Anthony Barber, keep an eye on him. They call him the Cat, and he is like that, very, very quick, like a cat, will be going up and down the floor for NC State.
Well, a big story now for the Louisville Cardinal. Quentin Snyder has been the starter for the last 8 games, replacing Chris Jones, who was kicked off the team, facing serious felony charges of rape. And Snyder has played extremely well.
He really has, Vern. He's taken this team and put them on his shoulders. And one thing about him is this, he, as a freshman, goes up and down the floor, doesn't turn the basketball over, so important for him not to turn it over tonight.
Mark Gottfried in his 4th season as the head coach at NC State. And here is the starting lineup. On the left, Lacey, Barber, Turner, and up front, Abu and Leonard Freeman. On the right, Rozier, Snyder, Montrez Harrell, Wayne Blackshear, and Mango Methiang. And their head coach, believe it or not, in his 14th year at Louisville, is Rick Pitino. Look at his Sweet 16 record. It's gaudy.
Well, just incredible, the career that Rick Pitino has put up.
NCAA champions in 2012 and 13. That's the 3rd championship won by the Louisville Cardinals. And of course, NC State, the most memorable win ever was back in 1983 when they knocked off Houston. Of course, those who played on the 74 team would say, wait a minute. We were pretty good.
They sure were, too. This will be a good one, Vern. Now, this should be some up and down action. The pace will be fairly good also.
And the officials have sent it slightly straight. It tilted a little to the left. And the officials tonight, John Higgins, Tony Padilla, and Mike Reed.
And Louisville starts out with their matchup. You'll see a lot of pointing in the matchup defense. It's man-to-man principles. When a guy has the ball in your area, then when he vacates, it becomes a zone. So we'll watch to see how NC State dictates the offense. And sometimes, as they are right now, you're confused as to what to run against this.
6 on the shot clock. The shot is off the rim. And Rozier kicks it back outside into the hands of the freshman guard. Here's Wayne Blackshear. Now the screen set. Snyder pulls up. Travel.
Yep, little steps outside. And Mathiang a little quick right there in terms of going off. But it's interesting, Vern, the first set, you know, you would think that NC State would be ready to play against the matchup. And I thought they took 20 seconds or so to try to figure out what it was. I mean, geez, if we know what it is, they should know what it is. We're not going to play against it, right?
You're right. Here's the penetration. There's the cat quick. Oh, point blank rebound. Missed for the basket. Rozier. Loose ball. It's going to come to the right.
Well, this is where you have to watch early on in a building like this with close to 30,000 people, the anxiety level, and we'll see what happens here. I don't know. Looked like he wasn't out of bounds when he got that ball touched.
At any rate, as they say, nevertheless.
Exactly. That's the isolation moves here for Lacey.
Lacey, jumper, first basket of the game.
I would say that's a pretty good isolation move just then. He showed you just about everything he has in one little 3-minute burst there. The ability to put it on the floor, to separate, and to get his shot off.
Here's Snyder to Blackshear. Rozier. Oh my goodness. Off the glass and in.
Blackshear has been, he's been shooting the ball well this year at Vern. He's improved from his outside shot, but one of the abilities that he has really worked on, they start to lean. You see Turner leaning out just then, and basically Blackshear has gotten better and better at putting the ball on the floor and going to the basket. So a good start for him. Oh, nice rebound.
It sure was. Rozier.
That'll be interesting, Vern, when the shots go up. Coaches were talking about it yesterday. That's when the work begins. Who's going to work the glass at the offensive end of the floor?
Tied to 2 in the early going. Here's Abu, jumper. Not there. The bigs really were important. This is a guard-oriented NC State team, but boy, when they knocked off Villanova the other night, the top seed, it was the big men for NC State that were helpful.
Yeah, exactly. And I think what they're going to have to do is try to post up more than taking that little 12-foot jumper there.
Rozier. Nope. Offensive board. That's Ralston Turner, number 22. Here's the quick Cat Barber. And that's going to be ruled NC State ball.
And one of the things you have to be ready for is Cat Barber. If he gets the basketball, the ability to push the basketball down the middle of the floor. And Rick Pitino up off the bench on the other side, suggesting that he knocked that out of bounds.
Blackshear guards the inbound pass. It goes back to Barber, number 12.
And watch for flashes in the middle of the floor, too. That's where you have to send somebody.
Long jumper. Clean. Trevor Lacey, second team All-ACC.
Yeah, we always talk about Lacey with his ability to isolate, but don't forget about his shooting ability. Just under 40% from long range. What a talent.
Here's Harrell, backdoor. They find Blackshear. Back to Rozier.
Yeah, just straight up man-to-man by NC State, a little hedge.
Snyder with the drive. Hit the underside of the backboard. But offensive board. Shot clock at 3, and he gets it.
Rozier making it happen, Vern. His shot clock was coming down. It was 2 seconds left, so he had no choice but to go after the glass on that particular trip.
We played almost 4 minutes. It's 5-4. Leonard Freeman. Now Lacey, guarded by the freshman, and a little hand check. Foul is on Snyder, his first. Terry Rozier off to a good start. Time call. Louisville trailing by 1. Chris Jones kicked off the team on February 22nd. 5-3 record without him, but Quentin Snyder's played well. For more, Allie LaForce.
Thank you, Vern. It was 37 days ago that Snyder made his very first collegiate start right here in the Carrier Dome. He went from averaging 9 minutes a game to almost 34 minutes a game, averaging 9 points. He scored in double figures in 3 of his last 4. It was an offense very welcome, considering this is a Louisville team who has failed to score over 60 points in 7 of its last 9 games.
Around the world and out. And saved. And here comes Snyder for Louisville into the hands of Montrezl Harrell.
Yeah, and Allie, that's an interesting point too. Without Jones on the floor, they don't have a real good, an additional scorer, I should say, and a guy who defended very well. Got to the free throw line 11 times in that game that Allie just mentioned also.
Here's Snyder, number 2. Cat Barber's out on him. The high screen entry pass. Harrell, tough shot, but he makes it.
Boy, was it ever, Vern. I mean, he did all his work before the catch, obviously, because he had terrific position, but he goes from about 2 feet under the basket to about 5 or 6 away. Still gets it to drop for him. So a good reaction and good finish right there. And I like the way Louisville starts to get the ball down deep.
Leonard Freeman. There's Snyder defensively. That is a concern of Pitino's. He's really concerned about Snyder's ability to defend. Turner outside. He's the #1 3-point shooter on this NC State squad. He did not have a 3 in their last game.
Yeah, actually has been struggling a little bit with his shot, Vern. You're absolutely right on that, but a guy that they need. He's one of their big 3 when it comes to scoring, because he gets about 13 points a game for them.
Rozier, 4 of the first 5 rebounds for Louisville. There's Methiang.
You can't let him catch it there.
Rozier, shot clock at 6. From the corner, Snyder, no. Rebound, Barber. No numbers here, but he is cat-like quick. Did we mention that? Of course, he can't finish on that play.
Yeah, 1-on-3 break.
Rozier. Another miss. Defensive board.
Yeah, you're wondering if the big dome is having a little bit of an effect on the shooting early on. You don't get the depth perception as a shooter for the outside shots, but they're missing a couple inside also. And maybe that's a little bit of nerves.
Baseline jumper is good. Inside the arc, Trevor Lacey.
It's not bothering him at all, though. He's 3 for 3. And we've seen a variety of his shots already. Very good stroke off the dribble.
Rozier, nice hesitation move. Snyder gets a screen, takes a short, small jumper. It's tough when you're trying to decide between short and small.
Smart.
Small. Either one.
Well, just as long as Louisville continues to try to get those little jumpers in there, though, Vern, I think that's the key, to be able to have not only one guy penetrate to the basket, but a couple of guys off the sets.
Lacey.
Yeah, look at them. They're jumping him a little bit, trying to get the ball out of his hands.
Up and under. Nope. Got the board. Abu did. Here's the jumper for 3. Ralston. No foul called. Blackshear had leaked.
Yeah,
but they didn't see him.
They didn't see him. You did, but they didn't.
Off the glass and good. Snyder.
He makes good decisions on the open floor, Snyder. That's one of the things that Rick Pitino really likes. His turnovers have not been that many at all, making his decisions as a young point guard. And you can just see the way they're squeezing it in defensively.
Barber. Back up, fade away. Look at Rozier Sky for the rebound.
Well, he's a terrific rebounder as a guard.
He's got 5 rebounds already in this game.
Yeah, he helps out on the defensive end, but he's not afraid to track it on the offense, as we've seen already.
Blackshear. Off balance jumper, he's fouled. Free throws coming. Take another look at that last drive.
Yeah, look at him tuck the basketball away, and then that big extension to get it away from the defender to finish it off.
Greg, thank you. That's not surprising, I guess.
No.
That is the #2 seed, after all. But we saw UCLA last week, and they didn't look in Louisville like an 11th seed.
No, they did not. They put together a nice run, and Steve Alford doing a terrific job of leading that team. His son shooting the basketball well.
Look at the graphic. Wayne Blackshear, first player in Louisville history to play in 4 consecutive Sweet 16s.
So we're going to see a little action with Louisville picking up full court. They put a little pressure on it. They're trying to get that ball out of Lacey's hands as much as possible.
And during the break, Anton Gill, a sophomore from Raleigh, comes on. Ironically, that's Gill. That's one-on-one, so to speak. Trevor Lacey. Back it goes to Lacey. Goes left. Lacey, by the way, 4 on the shot clock. Barber, 3 on the shot clock. Lacey is 3 of 4. The rest of this North Carolina State team is 1 of 10.
Yeah, and I still think they're having the troubles with the matchup defense that Louisville's throwing at them. They have not been able to really get it down in the blocks. Louisville seems content with them shooting it from the outside.
Beautiful. Montrezl Harrell. He was honored on senior night in Louisville. He's only a junior, but the widely held expectation is that he's going to the NBA next year. This is 8 unanswered now for Louisville.
See, Vern, they're not getting any looks. They're going over the top, even though they're getting that little pitch to the foul line area. Good move there in front, but they're not getting a whole lot down on the blocks right now, NC State.
Coverage of the NCAA Division I Women's Basketball Championship Regional Semifinals continues on ESPN and ESPN2. For more on game times and listings, go to ncaa.com. Abu with the free throw. Malik Abu, freshman from Boston. In the 2 previous games in the tournament, Abu has averaged 13 points and 8 rebounds per game.
Yeah, actually had a double-double against Villanova. So he's been playing well. You know, that's the thing with these types of teams now, Vern. When you get to this stage, everybody's been playing well for the last 6 or 7 games.
Right.
So the rhythm is built up. Teams are confident coming down the stretch. And this one's just shaping up to be, you know, a very, very competitive game. As we take a look at the zone that NC State's thrown, Louisville's had some problems against the zone.
How about Blackshear?
Wow. And that's that mixture of the outside shot and the blend of the drive to the basket. And if you're going to do that against the zone, you catch it and go quickly. You look for isolations against the zone, as we've seen Lacey do against the matchup.
Wayne Blackshear having a good start to this one. Des Lee, number 5. How about that from long range?
And this means long rebounds, doesn't it?
But they can't buy a basket.
I think Louisville's content to letting it go over the top. They have not gotten to the blocks as of yet with a real touch.
Onuaku is on the floor now too, number 32 for the Cardinals. So here's Gill, Montrezl Harrell, Blackshear. Boom! Brother!
Well, Rick Pitino has made a quick adjustment just then, and it's to put Blackshear in the middle of the floor. Vern, a lot of times teams will put a guy in against that zone, the tall guy right at the free throw line. The tall guy can't pass it, he can't shoot it. But when you take a look, you fill it up in the middle right here, and it allows you to do things. You see a little fake, a little ball on the floor, a little jumper. The coach likes it. Louisville up 6 points right now, and the defense is really giving NC State some problems. As you notice right here, here's the outside shot. Look at the 3 rebounders down deep. So even though the ball kicks out, Louisville always seems to have 3 guys down low in terms of muddy in the water. So there's no drives to the basket, nor are there any post-up opportunities. And they love the fact that they're going over the top to shoot the basketball. NC State, Vern, 4 for 16 from the floor.
And not Blackshear, Lacey has 3 of those, but he's missed his last 3 shots. Here's Ralston Turner. They take a swipe at it, clean up, and a foul called.
Well, there's a little change right off the bat for NC State. And Mark Gottfried changing it up just a touch. I'm sure that he talked about in that break. Guys, this is maybe not the exact percentages, but we are shooting the ball from outside quite a bit. We're not getting anything going towards the basket. Got to get to the free throw line, so that's a terrific adjustment right there. Let's see if they can continue to do that.
These are bonus points now for North Carolina State. Abu is a 54% free throw shooter on the year. He's hit 3 in a row.
It's amazing to me sometimes, Vern. That just doesn't look like a 54% shooter at the
You're
line.
right. I had to double check my notes.
I know. That's a good looking shot for a 54%er. And now they're back into their man-to-man, NC State. Here's a little post up for Harrell.
That's Harrell. Up and under, got it. Mango Methiang.
Pretty good patience just then, too, to not walk and not travel on that play. Good look from the 2-man game on the inside. You see how they come out and play that man-to-man straight up in their zone?
Abu. That was a challenged shot. 8:20 to go, first half. 6-point Louisville lead. Here's Montrezl Harrell. Jumper.
NC State trying to push the ball a little with Barber. The balance is very good for Louisville, not allowing them to get back.
Blackshear's out. Lacey trying to solve this, gets a screen from Abu. Outside, Ralston Turner got it. And that's a three-pointer. That's his second.
And just a little bit of a ball fake, frees him up for that one dribble pump. And still over the top, NC State. They keep shooting though, Vern. They're not afraid. They're a confident bunch of guys.
Snyder probing, pull-up jumper. Beautiful.
Boy, does he look under control?
Doesn't he?
Yeah, he really does. It's just never gets rattled. And young guys, I mean, even his demeanor looking at him, it's just like, okay, I just hit a nice jumper. You're not going to see me smile. You're not going to see me like gesture to any of my teammates. Just total concentration. There you go, drive it a little bit.
Gosh. You sure you want to do that again?
Well, you have to a little bit. And I've got a kick out of it down low with the cheerleaders. The cheerleaders were ducking, and there's that little jumper. And the defense should pull it back down. The bigs are going to get it. Watch out on the sidelines because it's coming fast.
Coverage of the NCAA men's basketball tournament is sponsored by DirecTV, GMC, and by Game of War.
Well, they're dancing, the Louisville fans, 22-17. Look at the difference in field goals, 10 of 17 against 5 of 19. Turner, pull-up jumper, doesn't get the roll. Another rebound now for Methiang.
And Vern, Louisville continues to find the shooters as they've made 7 of their last 8 field goals, just 8 of their 10 field goals. Louisville scored in the paint. They're dominating the paint early on the offensive end.
16-2 points in the paint. Baseline, Harrell.
You know, sometimes you get the paint points when you just focus on it. And they have done a terrific job of trying to drive it through the lane, and then the balance of being able to post up and be patient in the lane. So clearly NC State has to start to make an adjustment right there to try to root out the big guys underneath. Don't let them catch the ball that easily. And hope that the guards don't go by you on the perimeter.
Last foul was on Leonard Freeman, his second. So he gets a seat at the end of the bench. Takeaway.
Yep, nice hands by Lacey that trip.
Cat Barber, number 12. Rozier on Lacey, lets him go.
And Washington will look to score.
And he does. That's Kyle Washington, a sophomore. 43 career starts, but on the bench late in the season now for NC State. That one's off the mark. Saved by the Wolfpack. Lacey. Nice no-look pass. Beautiful. Ah, they found something in Kyle Washington.
Well, and that's why Rick Pitino jumps up off his bench, Vern, because now Mark Gottfried has found a little break and a little fracture so he can be able to get the ball into the middle of the floor. They find Washington. He's a lefty, so you don't really jump with the left hand all the time. Nice finish, nice reactions.
Wolfpack has cut the margin to 1. Let's take a look at the Infinity Coaches Spotlight. For more, here's Allie LaForce.
Thank you, Vern. Coach Gottfried was very, very upset about the points in the paint that we were just discussing. On offense, he said we have to attack the basket, and if you watch him on the sideline, every time this team settles for a jumper, he throws his hands up in the air and looks back at his assistant coaches like, how many times do I have to tell these guys to get to the basket defensively? He wants them to double down in the post. They're scoring so easily down there. Any extra pressure that they can give them defensively will help.
Yeah, be careful over there, Allie, because I know you're sitting on that side of the floor, so be careful if they start throwing things if jumpers continue. But I will tell you this, to your report, Washington, they've found Washington in the blocks. They've gotten him the ball twice. One of the things he will do is look to score. And obviously, the lefties have a little bit of an edge when guys are trying to defend them.
There's a delay now. They're checking the clock, resetting the game clock. And
okay, both of them stopped, right?
See, the shot clock's not moving. The game clock is not moving at the 6:26 mark. And it's now set at 5:50.
Doesn't it bother you when they have to get the time and score correct all the time? Just a minor thing in this sport.
Yes, exactly. Well, Washington has been a presence now in leading this NC State comeback. NC State winning the first 2 games in this tournament by a total of 4 points. They had to come from 16 down. Oh, look at this. And a foul is going to be called underneath on the basket attempt by Snyder.
I'm surprised more teams don't run this, Vern. It's just a staggered cut, no screen. You go right up over the top, because generally speaking what happens is the defender, in that time Barber, had his back to the cutter, and he didn't see where the ball was. So as a big guy, you can kind of just drift the ball over the top and let your point guard or anybody who's cutting to the basket go find the basketball. It doesn't necessarily have to be the greatest pass, but the guy defender doesn't see it, so you can get away with it even though that pass was right on the money.
Here's Snyder, 60% for the year, and that looked like it. A little too strong. Quentin Snyder, hometown young man. He grew up in Louisville, went to Ballard High School. Here's Turner for NC State. 2-point margin, 5:25 to play. Lacey, way up. Rozier's got it. No numbers here. Goes right. Snyder.
There's a good decision to try to pull it out.
You bet. And Harrell, one-on-one with Washington. And one.
Boy, does Harrell ever know how to use his body to step across. They run the break, and it's going to be a little delay, and now you see him, he's in position, and that's because he came from the left side of the floor when the ball was on the right, gets the positioning, and he's just too strong down low. He's aggressive, he's energetic, he has a lot of life in the body when he catches it down low in particular.
Methiang goes to the bench, and a 7-footer replaces him for Louisville, number 14, Anas Mahmoud. And at the line, here's Harrell. He's got 7 points.
Yeah, he's had 10 or more points, Vern, in 39 of his last 45 games carried over to last year. So he's, 24 of those games he's had 15 or more, so he can score. Doesn't shoot the jumper that often. There you go, get it to the middle. See.
Yep. Oh, slapped away by Rozier. Right side, Harrell. Oh, get out of his way. Tip, no. Rebound, NC State. Lacey. The feed. Foul is called on Rozier.
Boy, did Lacey ever have a good understanding of where Washington was on that play. I thought he was going to challenge him a little bit, but he has a good instinct to see from behind him the big guy coming down and filling up the back end in a nice delayed break. And clearly he's hit. Washington's hit going to the basket. That's why he loses the handle. Right hand gets hit and never able to really complete the play.
Watch Masters live on CBSSports.com for exclusive video of Amen Corner 15 and 16, 2 featured groups plus highlights and analysis. Watch on CBSSports.com and Masters.com. Washington back at the line. Three-point margin. 4:40 to go, first half.
Look at that movement away from the basketball, trying to free the middle of the floor and the lane for drives from the perimeter guys.
Snyder looks inside, finds Methiang. Not really that much of a scorer, but he will go to the foul line and shoot 2.
Yeah, it's amazing when you can get him for 2, you said.
Yeah, I'm emulating the late Dave Zinker, public address announcer, par excellence. And you do a pretty good imitation of it. From Philadelphia, by the way. Washington picked up his second foul.
Well, the only reason I do a good imitation of him is because I sat the bench for the 76ers for so long that year. There's nothing else to do while I'm sitting there.
And still on the bench,
exactly.
Number 34.
Has not moved.
Now here's a young man with an interesting background. Mango Methiang, born in the Sudan, raised in Australia, lists his hometown as Melbourne, where he played both rugby and Australian rules football. Not many people have a bio like that.
I don't, that's for sure. Neither of those two. As the passing still comes around the corner.
Lacey gets by Snyder. Woo-hoo! Did he ever?
A little better decision by Lacey. Rather than challenge the big guy and maybe get your shot deflected or not, it's just a little bit of a lob play upstairs. Boy, the game has changed. Instead of going bounce pass, they go upstairs nowadays.
Rozier. Harrell. Little soft baby hook.
Beautiful. Yeah, beautifully done across the middle of the floor. He has the talent to be able to use his strength and size to get that shot off. A nice little floater through the lane.
Harrell now with 9 points, 3:20 to go first half. Ralston Turner, right side, Washington. Unusual delivery, but a perfect tip by Lacey.
When you're playing that matchup, it's difficult to block out of it unless you find, because once a shot goes up, sometimes you're rotating out of position and it's hard to find the guy to block out. So when the shot goes up, that's when the work has to start at the defensive end for Louisville.
Blackshear trying to turn the corner. Offensive foul.
Yep, threw the right hand out just a little bit. Yeah, so NC State starting to figure this out a little bit. Don't shoot over the top all the time. Shoot it down on the rim. Nice play, and Harrell across the middle of the floor.
This March Madness, be open to try sharing a Coke Zero with your rival and turn them into a frenemy. I just read them.
That's okay.
I don't write them.
I'm not critiquing them either.
No, we best not. 28-27. Man, we had another shot clock problem, or game clock problem. So they adjusted during the break, and it's now 2:17 to go. Whoops. And the tournament summary, Mr. James Spinardo.
Well, obviously NC State and Louisville, first time, Vern, teams from the same conference have met in the Sweet 16 since 1986. And how about Wisconsin and Arizona? That's going to be one great matchup.
I think so too, yeah. We mentioned, it still seems unusual for me to say Louisville out of the ACC.
Oh, tell me about it. I'm an old throwback ACC guy when they had 7 teams in the league. So now the world has changed a touch.
Quentin Snyder so far.
Well, watch the decisions, and I think the composure is the other part of his game that's important. You know, he's never rattled, very rarely turns the basketball over, and that's one of the things that Rick Pitino really loves in a young guard. And we spoke to him yesterday a little bit about it. He really has not had a freshman guard that he's put this much responsibility on in an NCAA tournament. And so far, so good for Snyder.
Rozier out on Barber. Speaking of teams of the ACC who were playing on the home court, of a team from the ACC, Syracuse, or as they say here, Syracuse. And we are coming up on AT at the half. Greg, Clark, Kenny, and Charles, first half analysis, and an update on Utah and Duke, plus the latest NCAA tournament news, all coming up on AT&T at the half. I hurried through that because John Higgins just said one of the clocks is not working. I'm not sure. Oh, they're both working now. So I'm not sure what John was trying to say.
I'm not sure either.
The lead official here.
Good rebound in traffic just then. Anya just finding space with that big body.
Now take a look. Number 21, he's lost 60 pounds. He's now listed at a cool 295. That was off the top of the backboard, and Harrell has the rebound. Here's Snyder again. Go to the half-court set. Harrell, come on back out here, youngster.
Rozier's been pretty quiet, hasn't he, Vern? 1 for 5. Here he comes off the screen. They don't look that way.
Muscling in is Blackshear, no. But Methiang, they take a swipe at it. And Cat Barber knocked it into the hands of Lacey. Now, the payoff. Well, that's anticlimactic.
It sure was, but Barber got down and spaced the floor nicely. Two of the big guys from NC State didn't even run down the floor that trip.
Blackshear, no. Look at the block out by Abu. 1 minute to go, first half. 1 point game.
Boy, other than the score right now, which is 1 point away, the stat sheet looks almost identical. Nobody's getting an edge really anywhere. Maybe just the shooting. 9 for 28, NC State.
Remember, they started out 4 of 16. Here's Lacey. Could be. Louisville has lost the lead. NC State on that 3, up by 2.
And Lacey, a second-team All-ACC performer this year, has been very, very steady.
Snyder, no. So suddenly this has been what Louisville Cardinal fans have seen most of the year. The swat.
Oh, nice rebound on the floor, huh?
For 3, Turner.
Huh. Well, you talk about getting a little bit of a break just then.
Pull up, Rozier, yeah.
Oh, I wish this half didn't stop here. There should be more time left.
Sadly, it comes to an end. Well, I'll take the last 2 minutes.
Wow. It sure was. An explosion took place just then offensively, back and forth. Well, Vern, you lay it on the floor, you get a good bounce, and what happens? You get a kick out to Turner for 3.
And let's go to Allie LaForce with Mark Godfrey.
Coach, it seemed like a shot wouldn't fall to start this game, but you end the half with those 2 big-time shots. What was the key in attacking that matchup zone?
Well, I thought earlier we weren't moving well enough without the ball. We stood around a lot. We were trying to go one-on-one. We've got to get our guys moving to attack when they zone or they man or they match it up. We just got to move our bodies, move the ball a little bit better. I thought we did that at the end of the first half a little bit better.
Louisville has scored 20 of its 31 points in the paint. How do you get them out of there?
Well, we got to back our guys up. We're going to try to solve that right now in the locker room. But I like the fact we're winning despite that. So I'm not sure we're going to change a whole lot. We'll see.
Thanks, Coach.
All right.
Allie, thank you. And the last basket for NC State. That's the end of the first half. 2-point game. We'll send you to AT&T at the half after this message and a word from your local station.
AT&T at the half is presented by AT&T, mobilizing your world.
First East Regional Semifinal is a tight game going on in Syracuse, New York. 8-seed NC State with a 33-31 lead over number 4 seed Louisville. Hi, everyone. Welcome to AT&T at the half. Greg Gumbel in New York. You know these folks, Clark, Kenny, and Charles. Let's talk about this first half. Lots of things going on in this game.
Yeah, it's been back and forth. Both teams struggled to make shots from the perimeter, although North Carolina State is up by 2 because they've won the 3 game and the free throw game in this first half. And we take a look at what's happened with this particular game for Louisville. Montrezl Harrell has 9 points, and there he is doing work inside, but he's also got 4 assists. Doing a nice job patiently finding folks in there, Kenny. Good high-low action there. And then Harrell getting sweet real estate down low. And when he gets it that deep, he's just going to muscle it up over just about anybody. Nice little sweeping hook, old school work. We're going to flip it over now and check out Trevor Lacey, one of the best one-on-one players in college basketball on the perimeter. He can make challenge shots. He gets into a nice rhythm there off the hard dribble, catch and shoot. He's deadly. He's made a couple of threes as well. Catch and shoot, actually back off one dribble, create space. Yeah, you like that, Kenny.
I like that.
That's good, high-quality individual offense. The question is going to be in the second half, can North Carolina State keep Louisville from scoring in the paint? 20 of the 31 points Louisville got, those points were inside.
Pretty evident neither of these teams is going away in the second half.
Well, because they cannot, one team can't score enough, and that's Louisville. And NC State, they're a perimeter team. They're streaky. But the game is being played at pretty much Louisville's pace. The key is, like Clark said, Harrell's going to impose his will. Can NC State make enough jump shots on the perimeter? Is whoever forces their will and their pace more than anything.
If NC State had the focus in that their talent would allow them to have,
this would be probably a better game, an easier game for them. But on the perimeter, they have such an advantage that they don't take advantage of every possession, that it's sometimes frustrating watching them, because Louisville has a terrible time scoring, but they have an easy time scoring, but they don't get into the focus of getting good shots every single play, so that keeps a team like Louisville, and Rick Pitino is close to you. He's dangerous in calling great defensive and offensive plays.
All right now it's a 2-point game at halftime, 33-31 Wolfpack. Second half of NC State and
Right
Louisville is next. We'll get you back to Syracuse after this.
AT&T at the Half is presented by AT&T, mobilizing your world.
Halftime in Syracuse, NC State came from behind and they grabbed a halftime lead. He's the official mascot of Conan. Conan, all new weeknights at 11:10 Central, only on TBS. Wonderfully large crowd and an enthusiastic crowd enjoying this one from Syracuse. Back with the second half after this.
Coverage of the NCAA men's basketball tournament is sponsored by Allstate, Subway Restaurants, Verizon, and by Bud Light.
We are about set for the start of the second half from Syracuse, New York, with NC State leading Louisville an 8/4, 33-31. Moments ago, Allie LaForce with Rick Pitino.
Being down 2, you did an incredible job of attacking the basket, scoring in the paint. Will that be a point of emphasis in the second half?
Yeah. You know, we'd be a hell of a team if we could really shoot the basketball. All our teams have been able to shoot it, so we just want to keep on staying with it. But I know we're not going to go out and make 7 threes, but we've got to stop it to have a chance of winning this game.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
Yeah, somewhat agitated, don't you think?
A little bit. It's nice to be able to shoot the basketball, though, isn't it? But it's, you know, on the other side, it's nice to see NC State come back after the horrible shooting they had, roughly their first 20 shots, but they battled back. So anticipate, Vern, that this will be just a nice, fun, low, calm half here as we get ready for this one.
First half stats, 5 of 10 from threes, and 4 of those 6 made free throws from a 54% free throw shooter. Here's Lacey in the first half.
The ability to get his shot off is just amazing. From long range, he can put it on the floor. Just a terrific scorer. So that's one of the things that Rick Pitino's team is going to have to do a better job of, finding Lacey, because he's not going to go away. He's going to be a guy who is really, down the stretch of a close basketball game, he is the guy that NC State is really going to look for.
Leonard Freeman back on the floor, number 10 for NC State, 2 fouls. There's the fadeaway jumper. That's going to be short. And the rebound taken by Abu. 0 for 7 from the floor for Cat Barber. He's yet to hit from the field. Turner. Nice pass into the corner.
Yeah, can Abu make a shot from that spot when he catches it, too?
How about that for ending an 0 for?
Well, you take it in your run if you're the guy. Barber is shooting 0 for 7 in the first half. Anything goes down like that, you'll take it and look for him to try to put the ball on the floor a little bit down the other end.
Snyder.
Good look.
Methiang, too strong.
And a drift away from the rim also.
Turner. Poked out of bounds and touched last by Louisville.
Yeah, that was a pretty good example of NC State likes to run the floor and look for fast offense, and that's one way to beat that zone. If Mark Gottfried's team could get down the floor, make things happen, get a good shot. I'm not so sure I like the shot, nor did he, I don't think. A little quick, a little wild, but This matchup has given them some problems.
Now look at that, coming into the tournament, 22% from 3, and tonight, 6 of 12. There's another try for 3, and another good one.
Amazing how one little bounce changes your whole mental edge. And that's one thing you have to do as a player too, Vern, is forget about the first half. There's nothing you can do about it.
Jump stop and a nice feed by Rozier underneath the Harrell.
Well, it sure was. I thought he was going to get called for like an up and down again, but he released the basketball at the right time.
Ralston Turner began his collegiate career at LSU. Alley-oop. That one didn't quite work. Abu. Malik Abu. There's a kick, little muscle, and too strong from Leonard Freeman. Right side, Rozier. Oh, beautiful. And the foul comes on the putback.
Well, Mark Gottfried just getting into his face in a positive standpoint right there. And here's the result of it. He's just telling him to relax, play your game, continue to shoot the basketball. He gets the first one to drop, hits the front rim, goes straight up and straight down. That's a great shot just there of a coach taking care of a player, not getting in his face, getting up close to him and just saying, getting him to react, relax. And what do you get? You get a good response from your player.
Methien only a 50% free throw shooter for the year. So on average, you think this one is good.
There you go.
I was not a math major. That sociology degree.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. It's an all-encompassing course of study.
Yeah, now you're starting to show off on me.
Oh, goodness. 5-point NC State lead.
Yeah, Louisville's starting to show off their little full court action, but they bring it back. Different team than they've had in the years past, where Rick Pitino's team would go full court and just blitz you pretty much all game long, it seemed like, with a full court action in the traps.
Nice defensive job by Rozier, and there's a flying elbow, and that's going to be, yes, offense. Yeah, offensive foul. Good call. There it is, right there.
Good call is right. Yep, the extension from behind, and just, it's the extension, and people say, well, it's inadvertent. It's not inadvertent, because what he's trying to do, Vern, is he's trying to get an advantage to go by and gain an advantage by pushing back on it.
You're suggesting that it was avertant.
Avertant, yes.
Okay. Just want to make sure we understand each other. How about that? Boy, Harrell went down hard. And look how quickly his teammates come over to help him up.
One of the things about him, when he really goes after people, it's 6'8", 240. Good drive here, but when he hits the floor, he hits it like a ton of bricks. He's always energetic. And Mark Gottfried's team has to be careful with the little full court. As I mentioned a moment ago, Vern, one of the reasons that Louisville does not go up and down as much is because they don't have the depth that they used to have. And obviously, you can only go so far with that frenetic type of pace that they like to play.
Here's Harrell shooting one more.
And the other thing is not having Chris Jones on this team anymore. Another guy who liked to go up and down.
Yep. And he was not their leading scorer, but gave them a lot of points. And Rick Pitino said he was our best defender. And for those of you who don't know the story, Jones dismissed from this team, facing felony charges back on February 22nd. Lacey.
Yeah, Snyder's trying to stay with him.
Off the front rim, tip into the hands of Rozier. No numbers here.
Good spot on the floor for Rozier with the rebound. 9 rebounds for him.
Snyder, not there. Look at Barber go.
Wow.
Watch Louisville run. 3-on-3 though. Wolfpack got back into the corner.
Yeah, look at them. Now they're attacking a little bit better. Great run.
Oh, yeah. How about the pass from Snyder?
Fabulous. Just fabulous. And what did they do, Vern? They went from left side of the floor to the right. And Snyder smart enough to bring it back to the middle. And over the last 16 games, Harrell has had 41 dunks and another one to that arsenal.
This is one of those trivia questions. All-time dunk leader. In and out. That's Harrell.
Wow.
You know who used to be? Nervous Purvis.
Okay.
Oh, he tried another. Well, that was Blackshear. Take another look at that. The pass particularly.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things Snyder's done so well for this team, setting up the big guys. And boy, does he ever finish that one off with a flurry.
Back in Syracuse, where Louisville has scored the last 7 to cut the margin to 1. First half made field goals.
Pretty good efficiency from Louisville's standpoint. Rick Pitino very happy with that. Just one shot from the outside. He mentioned the halftime break with Allie that they're not a great outside shooting team, and Harrell goes to work down low and uses that body to give himself some spacing.
Here's Cat Barber for NC State. Back to play. NC State, we mentioned, knocked off Villanova. Louisville had a close game against UC Irvine out in Seattle, and then knocked out the number 5 seed Northern Iowa to get to the Sweet 16 yet again.
You'll see Snyder come over and push Harrell back. This is a classic matchup situation. Yet man-to-man in your area. Nice dish.
Whoa! B.J. Anya.
He put that on you, didn't he?
He had the game winner in that come from behind against LSU. Underneath, off the glass and good.
Well, I like the way the guards for Louisville are starting to penetrate a little bit. They're building a little bit of steam, dragging the NC State perimeter down to the middle of the floor with them.
Montrezl Harrell with 17 points. Here's Abu. Almost taken away. Rozier gets back outside. Anya. Cat Barber. Blackshear.
Whoa, where is that going?
I don't know. I think he just slipped. And here's a foul on Lacey.
Yeah, that could have been a bucket, too, if he released that basketball quicker. See, Barber is so fast. Does he get hit here at all? Not really. I think he just loses his footing.
Yeah. And so...
I don't think so.
Harrell will inbound. Substitution now. Caleb Martin, one of the freshman twins. His brother Cody doesn't play all that often. Team fouls. NC State with 4 now. Louisville yet to commit their first. Snyder. Pull up jumper for 3. Nope.
Good follow, though.
Hustles to the rebound. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, Lacey's fault. He's pointing to himself. He didn't box out on that play.
Screen from Harrell, pick and roll.
Let's see if they can make them pay for it.
Rozier, pull up, backs away, got it.
Wow. I mean, guys nowadays, Vern, make that shot look so easy, but it's a difficult shot. All about driving your guy towards the basket, stopping, bringing it back to get spacing between the defender and the shooter.
Entry pass, Abu, guarded by Snyder, the mismatch. Well, not much.
There you go. They got a little numbers here if they hurry. Good luck.
Kick out, spot up 3, yes.
There are the guards taking over. For Louisville, Rick Pitino's guards are just playing perfect basketball right now for the last 2-3 minutes. And NC State with the reaction and the timeout.
A 14-2 Louisville run.
Yeah, Rozier. Can he get a shot off? I think he can. He knows what he's doing with the dribble, the crossover, and here's a beauty of a pass. Find your other guard spotting up on the break.
It takes strength, power, and skill to keep up with this family. Meet the Smiths series premiere. That's not easy to do. Next Friday at 9, 8 Central, only on TBS. Well, Suzanne Smith is one of the best directors we've got at CBS.
Yes,
she's down at the truck. And I didn't know she, I guess it's not about her family. And by the way, happy birthday to our producer, Craig Silver. He's made certain that I'm not to mention how many years. Lacey, guarded by Snyder. Battle for the boards. Guess who got it? Montrezl Harrell.
Yeah, once again, defensively, Louisville's going to take their chances of pushing Lacey out on the floor. He's still 5 of 10. Not a bad first half that he had. 12 points. And then the rebounders go to work.
Blackshear fouled. and he's going to shoot 3.
Turner comes around the corner defensively, just a touch late as you see him dragging behind. Shooter up, and what happens generally, Vern, is that a shooter will kind of drift a little bit. You want your shoulders drifting towards the basket, and you saw the momentum carry his path right into the path of Turner coming at him, so he'll get to the line.
And he shoots 3. He's a 76% free throw shooter. NC State Louisville, the first game here, coming next. Oklahoma, Michigan State. Well, see if he can make 2 out of 3. Michigan State fans have entered the Carrier Dome, and they're sitting
right
behind
across
the
from us.
Louisville bench. Yes. 2 of 3.
In addition to a lot of other fans here, Vern.
Oh,
Just
boy.
a big-time crowd.
I ran into, at halftime, Larry Kimball. Nice find underneath. Muscles his way and got it. That's Kyle Washington.
Yep.
Larry Kimball was the public relations director here for a long, long time, retired now. And I said, you got a pretty good crowd. He said, yeah,
not bad.
Not bad.
30-ish.
From the corner, no. Methiang.
Watch out. Oh,
uh-oh.
Still headed out.
Uh-oh.
It looks like everybody's okay.
He's going to check. He hit a Husky cheerleader. The guy in the second row.
Everybody's clearing out.
Oh, no. Big man coming down.
Brace yourselves.
47-43. Martin.
Yeah, he'll shoot the 3.
Runs into Methiang.
Oh!
Hello.
Bring it down. Anya over the top again.
Oh, boy. Rozier, jump stop, kick out. That's for 3. Nope.
Yeah, Louisville shooting going a little quiet right now.
Chance for a tie or the lead. Martin puts it on the floor.
Great pass.
Oh, was it ever? And a foul.
Oh, and Martin has given them a nice little lift here. The big guys, once the shot goes up, both of these coaches, though, the work begins. Woo, once again, all over it with Anya.
Two-point game. Louisville has the lead at 1 point. Points in the paint were 16-2. And Terry Rozier is having one heck of a game.
From a guard position, he's a very good rebounder. And you know why, Vern? Because he gets into the middle of the fray. He's not a guard that sits out of the perimeter. Defensively, he comes back and helps the front line. And that's why he's put up those numbers already. 11 rebounds from the guard position. Wow.
At the line, Washington. That's the first miss from the line tonight for NC State. They're now 6 of 7. In contrast, Louisville not shooting well from the free throw line. 7 of 15.
Yeah, Louisville only shoots 67% as a team, too, Vern.
A correction, 9 of 15. There's Washington getting 1 of 2. 47-46. Rozier guarded by Martin. Here's Snyder. Onuaku. There's Montrezl Harrell. Anyu.
Oh, man, is he ever a roadblock?
Is he ever? Woo. Jumper over Anyu. Got it. Montrezl Harrell.
Harrell averages about 2 or 3 jumpers a game, Vern. He's looked pretty good on both of the ones he's taken.
How about 8 of 11 shooting with 19 points? Washington lets it fly.
Now, the LSU game, Washington had a good game, 4 of 5 from the floor for 9 points. So giving them a lift again tonight.
Screen, Montrezl Harrell. Got a reach-in foul.
And you look at Harrell kicking it out, and then he fills. Blackshear leaves, little pick and pop right here. Where's the defender? A little late in the picture. That's the big fella trying to move around a little bit.
That's the third foul on Kyle Washington, number 32. Onuwaku, Chinanu Onuwaku. His brother, by the way, he's got the ball right now. Iran's played here for Syracuse.
Right.
Snyder. How about that?
Boy, has he ever taken the stage on, huh?
Oh.
Boy, it's just amazing to watch. And look, he doesn't, I mean, sometimes you want to smile after you score. He doesn't break his demeanor at all, which is great, the concentration level.
He's got 12 points. His season average is like 3 per game. But since he started, and this is his 9th game, it's up around 10.
Against UC Irvine, he put up 16. So it has been steadily improving.
Spin move.
Where you going?
Yep.
It's spin move and a leap. Back-to-back bad decisions.
Rozier.
Wow.
How about that? Uh-oh. He got poked in the eye, I think. Yeah, right eye. Oh, he's blinking, trying to refocus.
Probably getting the tears out of his eyes, too. That's what generally happens when you get poked in the eye. Guards once again playing well for Louisville at the offensive end.
Switch defensively. Washington, and a foul on Louisville.
Yeah, it's guard play. Rozier this time through traffic. That's not where he got hit. I believe it was, it was right there. That was a foul also that they missed, driving to the basket. You look at Snyder just using the roadblock, the high screen. Good decision around the corner. Great guard play again for Rick Pitino's team right now.
Onuwaku just picked up his 3rd foul, so he's on the bench. And Methiang is back, number 12.
Watch for a little high screens possibly for the guards to get Barber to get something going. Here it comes.
Screen from Anya.
They need Barber to get to the teeth of the defense in the paint. Here
How about Blackshear? Yeah. How about Blackshear? That's his 3rd. So it's a game of attrition now as well.
Yeah, NC State, though, Vern, trying to get around the corner. Blackshear does a pretty good job right there of balanced position defense, but leaning just a touch. Oh, that's way short.
Oh, wow. And Methiang and, oh, that's good to see.
Yeah, it was.
Lacey gave each other a little tap.
Well, watch Lacey. He doesn't get anything under this shot right here, Vern. It's kind of like he's falling down, and the big fellas are just like teeing him up.
See, Blackshear, buddy. Yes.
Yeah, it was just...
That's Blackshear's 4th foul.
Let's go!
Lacey misses the 1st. Blackshear out. Anton Gill, the sophomore out of Raleigh, playing for Louisville, is on. Rick Pitino, block out. Another substitution now. Washington out. Leonard Freeman is back on.
Yeah, this will be an interesting run, Vern, to see how they do without Blackshear for a while. He's probably going to have to go until the 5-minute, maybe the 4 and change.
Yes. Rozier, little floater, too strong. Rebound, Anya.
Haven't been many fast break buckets at all in this game. Balanced, shots going up, teams falling back to half court with at least 2 guys on each set.
There's Lacey. Rozier defensively. Pull up jumper. Turner. Nope. Methiang. How about that? Leonard Freeman, number 10. 2-point game.
Yeah, he's the lunch pail guy for this team. Likes to mix it up underneath on the offensive glass. Another guy who just had to hold his own. And we come back with a 2-3 look for NC State defensively.
Rozier looks inside. Gets a screen from Methiang.
That's the way to split it.
Jump stop, Snyder, no. Rebound, NC State, a chance to tie or take the lead.
Love the way Snyder streaks through and tries to make things happen.
For three.
Woo. That is a pure jump shot that Mr. Lacey has. And if you don't react and get to him quickly, he releases it in a hurry.
And the officials hurry over.
So here's the outside work. And then the big fella Freeman goes to work down low on the offensive glass. But where is everybody? You get hung up on a screen, you don't react, bang, too late.
On the course of the season, NC State, you see it there, for the season 33%, in the tournament 23%, tonight 50%.
These guys for NC State, Vern, they really don't get hung up on their misses. When they do miss them, they just keep coming at you. Cat Barber in particular will do that. Lacey.
Rozier floater, put back, offensive foul.
A little shoving and pushing on the left side.
It's on Methiang. Time is called, 6:56 to go. Tired of hearing the same sports headlines on repeat? Get everything about your favorite teams and get it all first. Download the Team Stream app from Bleacher Report. 54-53 on 8 of 16 shooting from three-point range. And Rick Pitino telling Allie LaForce at halftime, I get rather angry when we don't defend the perimeter.
Well, and this is a difficult team to defend the perimeter on with the way they have the shooters. Lacey, they're going to really focus on him. Barber's only 2 of 11, but don't think he's going to go away.
And those two, both three-pointers at the beginning of this half. Shot clock now at 7. Barber, Rozier out defensively. Shot clock at 3. Harrell tips it to himself.
Pressured shot on the outside, and Harrell understanding the importance down a point of that rebound. Let's see if they can get some touches on the blocks. A little tougher against this 2-3. Maybe a flash through the middle of the floor.
Nearing the 6-minute mark with time remaining.
And look at all this room right in there, Vern. That's where you want to try to get a guy who can handle the basketball.
Harrell's out. There's a spin move by Gill. Puts it up, got the roll.
Well, and it's switching hands too, no less, huh?
Ah.
Boy, was that a pretty decision to make sure that he went away from the baseline where the traffic and the congestion was.
Louisville back on top by 1.
You see that pointing from the guards. That just means you're going to take it when a guy gets into your area, you pick him up. Well, they lost him here for a second.
Lacey, nice pass. Anya. He spent about 17 seconds in the free.
He sure did.
Oh my gosh, where is the tent?
And because he spent that much time, Vern, he didn't get the shot up quickly because he was open. Well, look at this dandy of a spin and the extension by Gill.
Timeout, Louisville. Unusual timeout, the timing of which for Rick Pitino in Louisville. And down in Houston tonight, congratulations to the Zags. Gonzaga outs UCLA 74-62. Mark Few's one of the good guys in the coaching profession.
He sure is. Congratulations to him and these two coaches trying to figure out what to do down the stretch with 5 minutes even to go.
From behind, Abu into the corner. Gill takes a 3. Oh!
Vern, he shoots it at 24% on the season.
I'm looking at the same thing you are.
Woo.
That's his 11th made 3 out of 42 taken. Entry pass. Freeman. Turner for 3. How's that for an answer?
Beautiful. He's a 36% shooter, so you're more comfortable seeing him shoot the basketball, but I love the response. And both of these teams coming down the stretch again, should be a terrific finish. Oof.
Hand check foul.
Yep.
Called on Lacey. That's his third. One and one.
There's a little inside-outside action for Turner. And 0 points against Nova in their second game, but they really need to rely on him for that outside shot between, Barber and Lacey. Those are two guys who really go after it, but that third weapon is Turner from the perimeter.
Here's the guy you want on the line at this point of the game. For the season, 78%. He gets the first. And they have not shot free throws well tonight. One more. Rozier's got the double-double, 11 points, 11 rebounds for Terry Rozier. Cardinals by 3. Oh my goodness, Freeman wasn't ready for it.
That was a good look too. It was an inside pass for a cutter coming down the middle of the floor. That was going to work if he just caught the basketball.
Back to Rozier. Here's Gill with 2 big baskets in the last 2 minutes. Screen from Methiang. Outside, Snyder. There's another screen from Methiang. Entry pass. Methiang, I thought he should have taken the shot.
I agree 100% with you.
Acrobatic! How about the contribution off the bench of Gill?
Well, 7 points, 3 of 3, Vern, and they've gone to the 3-guard look, and it's worked very, very nicely for Rick Pitino's team. And a little bit of a floater right here going at the traffic. He avoids a boo. And look at the touch on the way down. A huge bucket for the Cards.
5-point Louisville lead. Watch live games on your Amazon Fire HD, Windows, or other connected devices with NCAA March Madness Live. Watch now at ncaa.com/March Madness or download the app today.
Vern, interesting enough, when Blackshear picked up his 4th foul, it's changed a little bit, hasn't it?
There's no hurry to get him back out there.
No.
Gill has 7 points in 8 minutes. The only bench points by Louisville tonight, by the way. There's a screen from Freeman. Fadeaway jumper, no. Tipped, loose ball. How about Rozier? 1-on-2. But if it goes, it goes.
That's what happens when you hang around and you get the basketball going the long way, Vern. It's just the way they come back. They go after the basketball. Good grip there to get it away. And boy, does he know how to step through people to finish things off.
We're back in Syracuse. Let's take a look at the Capital One Cup impact performance.
Well, Harrell's just been playing very well, obviously. Going after the basketball, the basket, I should say, driving it. The physical plays like a lightning rod for this team, Vern. He really triggers it. They respond to him generally before Rick Pitino gets to this team. Sometimes Harrell will step in and talk to them for Rick before he gets there. It's a good combination.
Rozier shoots a free throw. He's had a terrific night, Rozier.
Double-double, 12 rebounds. That's the number.
14 points, 12 rebounds.
4 guys in double figures for the Cards.
65-57, 7 unanswered now from Louisville.
And now are you going to start to look down low, or are you going to shoot over the top on it?
Barber, long rebound. There's Rozier, watch out. Look at him do it again. Goes to the deck, but the rebound from Methiang.
Yeah, smart play, too, to bring it outside.
They'll work on the clock a little bit now. 2:40 to go.
The key is not to put yourself into a stall mode right here. Take a little bit of time off the clock, but make sure against a man-to-man, you're running your sets. And when the opportunity comes down, right about 12 seconds, go after it. Don't wait too long.
Oh, no. Miscommunication. Harrell and Rozier.
This is a jump shooting team, so Lacey has to try to break somebody down off the dribble.
There's Rozier. The dish directly underneath.
Go up.
And a bad pass. He didn't go up.
No, that's the second time we've spoken about that. He gets the ball in striking distance. You have to try to get yourself somehow throw your shoulders against the rim.
1:55 to go. Winner goes against either Michigan State or Oklahoma. That's the second game here. 1:45 remaining. Harrell. 10 on the shot clock. Yes.
Well, a combination of terrific timing, but also bringing the clock down again. NC State now has to motor it up a little bit faster than what they want. They got to go quickly here.
Patino.
Yeah, so take a look at Harrell. He's going to try to get the right shoulder by the defender, and he does perfectly. Freeman not quick enough to get there. Watch the shoulder get tucked around. It works up off the glass. NC State really has to go quickly right now. But I still think they have to probe a little bit, Vern, to see if they can get it inside once in a while, drive into the basket to stop this clock.
Lacey. Oh, they called that on Rozier, I believe. Yes.
Yep. And from an NC State standpoint, it does just that. Stops the clock.
Sure.
Get to the free throw line.
And it's a bonus 1-1.
I didn't see much there.
Lacey, 1 of 2 tonight. Take another look at that, Jim.
Let's see. I think it's called when he's driving to the bat. Well, you know what? It's two hands. The two hands on the hip.
Yep.
Good call from the officials.
And Wayne Blackshear comes back on the floor. Got a healthy time on the bench with 4 fouls. Now they're going to keep Gill on, and Methiang will go out.
Yeah, they want their ball handlers on the floor. Blackshear is a good free throw shooter at 76%. And they're going to get ready for this full court pressure action by NC State. So that's why Rick Pitino has basically taken all the big guys except for Harold off the floor.
That stops a 9-0 run. Martin is back on now. Caleb Martin, number 14. Here's Snyder. He's got Harrell to the right.
Whoa.
Oh, dear.
What are they trying to do there?
Oh, I don't know. Lacey.
Great move.
Short. Rebound. How about Rozier? That's 13 rebounds tonight. 2-on-1. Well, oh dear. Oh, gosh. Oh, gosh. Oh, my gosh. Oof. He hit the stanchion.
Yeah, and it basically stood him almost upright. And you just want to sit there for a second. Just let him alone for a few minutes. Let him regather. Ouch. Boy, that's... Oh, boy, is that ever good to see him get up that quickly. Terrific move by Lacey down the middle of the floor, and I'm not so sure the Cards have to go this fast, but he does. He breaks him down and then
hit from behind.
Yeah.
And still in anguish as he gets ready for the free throw.
Well, that one hurts right now, and it's going to hurt tomorrow also. Look at his numbers, 78%, but he stepped up in the tournament, 9 of 10.
Now he's hopping, trying to ease the discomfort. 1 minute exactly remaining, and a 10-point margin. .70-59. Back outside. Strong draw. Whoa. Whoa.
And they're going to start fouling now. You have to foul somebody.
Blackshear. Here's Rozier. Pulls it back out.
Boy, am I missing something here?
He's still hobbling a little bit, but there's the foul finally.
Yeah, Vern, you gave up 11 or 12 seconds, though, NC State did. A lot of effort right here by Martin, though, coming to the basket and finishing it off. He goes flying after that play. And with then NC State down 9 points.
10th team foul, so the double bonus now. Quentin Snyder will shoot 2.
I think NC State was just too selective just then on who to foul. At that point, you just have to start fouling anybody you can get close to.
One of 2. 35 seconds to go. Behind the back, Barber rejected by Harrell. Loose fall. Okay. And that one's good. Timeout. Called by Mark Gottfried. Louisville 71-63. Take a look at that last possession by North Carolina State.
Yeah, Vernon, you look at it, it comes in about 49 seconds, right? And I know it's not the easiest thing, but they did not give me the impression that they were aggressively looking to foul. That was clearly a fouling situation that they let go, and here's another one. There you go.
That possession by Louisville, and there's a quick foul called, and that's going to send Snyder back to the line. It looks like the run's going to end for the North Carolina State Wolfpack. Snyder is 2 of 4 at the free throw line. Looks like. Looks even more like now.
Well, a solid game for Snyder, hasn't it? 60% free throw shooter.
That's off the foot of Martin. Jumper, long rebound. There's Harrell with another rebound. He's fouled by Desmond Lee. Rick Pitino, 14th year at Louisville. You know his first coaching job? You do.
Assistant coach.
No, head coaching. That's what I meant. Sorry, I blew the approach. Hawaii.
He recruited me there.
I knew that. I was trying to get to me. And we've got another game to go.
Exactly.
He was here 2 years as an assistant under Jim Boeheim. Take a look.
No, Vern, that's not me in the middle.
I thought it was, there was a chance. And we chatted with him at length yesterday. And we talked about the influence of Hubie Brown on his coaching interests. Barber got it. Harrell, reach around. That's Ralston Turner. Now, Pitino started out, he coached the last 6 games in the mid-70s at Hawaii, finished 2 and 4, and he recruited you. Did you make the official visit?
I didn't make an official visit. I don't know, still know what I'm thinking about for not taking that visit to Hawaii. And didn't Rick say, he said that he could always get the guys to visit there, he just couldn't get them all to come there.
Yeah. Turner fouled out, 12 points. Harrell at the line. Ralston Turner began his career at LSU, Alabama. Young man, and hugs as he goes all the way down the bench. Last game for Ralston Turner.
And when that time comes, Vern, just from experience, you get a pit in your stomach like no other from an athletic standpoint.
David Levitch is going to come on now, and Terry Rozier is going to get a chance to get some treatment after the game.
And how about the balance of the Louisville Cardinals, Vern, with 4 guys in double figures. This man at the line with 23 before this shot. And Rozier with 17 points, but more importantly, 14 rebounds.
Martin not quite ready for it. And a foul is going to stop the clock with 4.1 seconds remaining. 10-point game. Well, this NC State team won at Louisville on February 14th. And the numbers for Harrell in that game and tonight, look at that. Anton Gill's going to head out. Boy, did he give them valuable minutes in the second half.
Well, especially when Blackshear picked up his fourth foul. I believe it was about 8:12 or so on the clock.
Yeah, he sat for 7 minutes. Game over. 75-65, Louisville has a date for Sunday in Syracuse. Louisville wins by 10. They await the winner of Oklahoma, Michigan State. The approximate tip time of that one, 15 minutes after 10 o'clock Eastern time. Let's go to Allie LaForce, standing by with Rick Pitino.
Coach, earlier this season, NC State came to your hometown, beat you on your home court. Your team got a chance at revenge. They took full advantage of it. How far has this team come?
The other day, I was telling Anton Gill a story about 1987. I had this young man named Darrell Wright. He wasn't playing that much. I said he was the MVP of the SEC when we beat Alabama. Mark Godfrey was in the backcourt, and Georgetown. I said he wasn't. You never know when you're going to step up in this tournament. He made us the big shots, down the lane, jump shot, really put us over the hump.
Yes, speaking of Gill, a little under 4 minutes to play. He hits the big three. You wished at halftime that your team could shoot the three. Do you think he heard you?
I hope so. Sometimes it's tough with our shooting, but we're taking great shots, playing terrific basketball. I'm real excited.
Thanks, Coach. Congratulations.
Well, congratulations to Rick Pitino. Consolation to the Wolfpack of NC State. Harrell with a big day, big night. Terry Rozier. And let's go to Allie, who's with Montrezl Harrell.
Montrez, what a night you had. 24 points, and you're one of the two left that were a part of this 2013 National Championship team. Now you're just a few wins away. How does this team continue to keep winning?
We just got to keep sticking together. You know, we took a lot of bumps in the early part, you know, when they were playing good, and they started shooting a lot of big-time threes, you know, but we stuck together. I mean, we've gotten this far by playing together and playing as a team, you know, so we just got to keep sticking together and keep moving forward.
You mentioned playing as a team. This is a team that has had to overcome a lot of losses, whether it's injury or the dismissal of Chris Jones. What really brought you together?
You know, we've had a lot of problems in the beginning of the year. You know, we took a tough loss that we should have took. You know, but we came together at the right time. You know, we know that in the ACC tournament that it was one loss to go home. You know, so it prepared us for this. We took an early exit in the ACC tournament by losing our first game. We didn't want to take an early exit here.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Allie, thank you. Here's a little touch of class. Terry Rozier. He's speaking, I believe. Yes, it is. The North Carolina State radio broadcast team. How about that?
Beautiful. Good touch.
Well, Bob Valvano is one of the broadcasters for, I'm sorry, Louisville. What am I thinking about? Oh, my gosh. Tune into CBS Now for Utah and Duke. Coming up next on TBS, Michigan State and Oklahoma. We'll send you to our studio after these messages. '75.
This is Capital One Tournament Central.
For the third time in the last 4 years, the Cardinals of Louisville heading back to the Elite Eight. Tonight they subdue North Carolina State 75-65. And they do it with a late run, and for Seth, who had been misfiring on his locks of the night and broke that streak. Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. Last night with the pick of Notre Dame.
Freeze it! Freeze it!
Then tonight he said NC State would move on, but
wow.
Unfortunately
Run out of
for
room
Seth.
for X's on the screen. Thank goodness we're not here tomorrow.
Yes.
We'll have to email my picks.
It is
Sorry.
Louisville with a 75-65 win over North Carolina State. Coming up on TBS, Michigan State and Oklahoma, and coming up on CBS, you got Duke and Utah. This is Capital One Tournament Central. Ernie Johnson, we got Smitty, we got the great prognosticator, and we've got the natural head coach Ron Hunter of Georgia State. Man, I tell you what, this was when you listen to halftime. And you heard Rick Pitino say, look, we could have a hell of a team if we could shoot the ball. But tonight, Louisville finishes the game 50%, and they finish the game 22-11 to erase the North Carolina State lead, and Louisville a winner and into the Elite Eight, Coach.
Yeah, they are, and it was because of their defense again. The matchup zone, it took all the isolation, took all the running away. They still were 3 of 12 from the three-point line. But when you can hold a team to 38% shooting, you're going to have a chance to win every single night. The matchup zone was the key. And the matchup zone, which, believe me or not, could probably get them right back into the Final Four.
I mean, that matchup zone had, like you said, North Carolina State struggling on where to go with the basketball. And the bigs for North Carolina State, I think, got outworked. And when you talk about Terry Rozier, the small point guard, 14 rebounds, and also him and Montrezl Harrell, they did a nice job. They were a plus 16 in the paint.
And Anton Gill making his presence felt. More on that in just a second. As we go to the highlights of this one, an NC State, Mark Gottfried's bunch trying to get back to the Elite Eight for the first time since 1986. Rick Pitino's guys, the champs in 13, knocked out last year earlier, and then, in fact, in the Sweet 16. And tonight, Wayne Blackshear going to work with the floater. Malik Abu of NC State driving and has it swatted out of bounds by Mathiang.
Well, after a little bit.
But this time, from Lacey.
He went and got this one. Just throw it in, young fella. Throw it in.
1 point game, 26-25 Cardinals, and then a dynamic finish to the first half in this one. Ralston Turner, the LSU transfer, knocks that down. And then Terry Rozier. And at the half, it's 33-31 NC State. Montrezl Harrell. 1 point game, and then a 16-2 run by the Cardinals.
Well, this was decisive, and you know, the game was kind of nip and tuck for a long time, but ballers playing like ballers, and Terry Rozier really took over when they needed him.
The stop on the defensive end, and Quentin Snyder spotting up for the triple.
Not very good transition defense. You know Snyder's going to spot up for three.
B.J. Anya, who hit the game winner against LSU in their opener with the putback. And then when Trevor Lacey scores, 7:17 to go in the game, and North Carolina State, Smitty has the lead.
They did. They were in control right now. This is where you thought North Carolina State could really kind of extend the lead, but Louisville just kept coming, and there's that guy.
Anton Gill, who had not scored in the tournament, but has 7 points in this one. And then Rozier.
Guard play. I tell you what, guard play in the NCAA tournament is huge, boy. If you got good guards, you got a chance to advance.
And Rick Pitino's guys do advance. 75-65 is the final. You look at Harrell going for 24 and 7. Rozier 17, 14 and 4. Snyder has 14. Blackshear has 10 and 7 huge points. You heard Rick Pitino talk about Gill after the game and having to always be ready. You never know when the spotlight might shine on you and you're called on to come through, and Gill did. And here's the kicker. Kid played his high school ball in Raleigh. They win it.
Make a note of that.
75-65, Smitty.
I like that one, Ernie. I mean, but give Rick Pitino. We're talking a lot about the players. You look back 2 weeks ago. Would you talk Louisville would be back in the Elite Eight? I mean, he lost Chris Jones, but phenomenal job. And we talked about it, Seth, Coach and Ernie.
He wasn't stubborn. Didn't go to that press today. Coach Hunter, you talked about it. He went to that matchup zone. What was best for the matchup? And that's the way Rick Pitino coached.
And with the matchup, what it makes you do, it makes you shoot a lot of jump shots, and it doesn't let you shoot free throws. So if you look at the game, Louisville goes to the line 27 times, and North Carolina State only goes 14 times, but they shoot 23s. So it took them out of their rhythm of getting to the basket and made them a jump shooting team, and that was a recipe for them to win.
You know, I know there are a lot of sort of casual basketball fans, casual sports fans who tune in the NCAA tournament. You see Louisville's in the Elite Eight. Of course, it's Louisville, it's Rick Pitino, they're a 4 seed. What would you expect? But for those of us who follow the sport pretty closely all season long, it is extraordinary that this team is still in the NCAA tournament. Rick Pitino saying at halftime, boy, if we could only make shots. He's been saying that all season because they haven't made shots all season. And it's always fascinating to me, Ron, we were talking about as we were coming on the air, how coaches, I think, get a little bit set in their ways with their rotation. Louisville had a situation where they lost their starting point guard, Chris Jones, who was playing 36, 37 minutes a game. Rick Pitino didn't trust Quentin Snyder to put in the game. Rick Pitino didn't trust Anton Gill to put in the game. Anton Gill didn't even get in the game against UC Irvine. He was pressed and forced to play these guys, and they responded in a way that they hadn't during the course of the season, and that is why they play the games. Nobody expected that to happen, yet Louisville is still alive.
5 turnovers on the night for the Cardinals of Louisville on a 22-11 run down the stretch, and they're into the Elite Eight. Next up, Michigan State, Oklahoma for a spot. It'll be the final spot in the Elite Eight. It's coming up.